There's a hillside community just across the border in Mexico that has a new school. We meet a humanitarian who made it happen.
Colonia La Esperanza, one of the ciudades perdidas, or lost cities on the outskirts of Tijuana, Mexico. A region of 180,000 people, but so obscure you can't find it on a map. However, one woman did.
I drive to Mexico every single day. I cross the border. Sometimes it's a 25-minute drive to get here and about a 50-minute drive to get back. It can be longer if there's a longer way to the border. Where should I park? Over here on the... Here we go. There we go. We're gonna go look at the construction now. Before the men go to lunch. Okay, listo?
Christine Brady, a native of Pennsylvania, stumbled upon this region by chance 26 years ago, as she was on her way to Ensenada to vacation with friends and family.
I studied physics and engineering, used to work for the Navy. I was married and had a baby when I first came to Mexico. And I remember driving down the coast to Ensenada and thinking, why are those people living on those hills in those conditions? Somebody should help them. But I never thought that person would be me. People were living in 8-foot shacks, basically wooden structures made out of plywood. And they were young people, typically parents in their early 20s with 2 children under the age of 5 years old who were trying to homestead a piece of property and had a third-grade education themselves. I talked to my friends, what can we do, what can we do? We decided to start a small nonprofit organization.
Brady started the Americas Foundation, an organization that builds and runs schools for the low-income families of the region. The project began only as a kindergarten, but eventually bloomed into a full elementary school.
Christine was looking for an architect to work with them on the school. And what really made the two of us want to work together is Christine wanted the school to be really beautiful because she thought that would help the kids and the different people from different parts of Mexico to kind of work together.
It's not the aesthetics alone that make Colegio La Esperanza such a valuable place for this community. The school gives these children the chance to bolster their education in an area where other opportunities are scarce. Many of the students, like Carlos Manuel, come from a single-parent household, where often the mother must work full-time in a local factory to provide for the family.
When you live in the U.S., you tend to forget, you're so comfortable, you tend to forget what's going on the other side of the border. You tend to forget that there's so much poverty and misery. And also when you're in the US and if you hit some economic downfalls, you're like, oh, I won't be able to do this trip or I won't be able to have this leisure. But those people across the border sometimes don't even have nothing to eat. Sometimes they cannot even afford an education. Sometimes they make them choose between working and going to school.
¿Es cierto que eres el más peleonero?
Sí. ¿Quién es el más peleonero aquí? A ver, digan la verdad.
El Carlos.
El Carlos.
¿Y tú qué? Tú me haces enojar.
¿Y qué piensa de la escuela? A mí me gusta. Me gusta porque, primera, está cerca de la casa. Me gustan las clases especiales que les dan música, ballet, ecología, inglés. Mis niños están becados. Yo tengo chance de trabajar y de que ellos estén ahí en la escuela. Salen hasta las 3. ¡Sin pelear! ¡Carlos! ¡Ey! ¡Carlos! Vete para adentro.
¡Me aventó una piedra!
Vete para adentro. No te aventó una piedra. Vete para adentro. Vete para adentro. Vete para adentro.
¿Sí viste lo que me avientó en la espalda?
Sí,
¡El
vi.
primero! Y tú, Ernesto, ahorita vas a ver, ahorita vas a ver cómo te voy a agarrar.
Okay, bye-bye.
No, pues ayer nos fuimos caminando desde aquí hasta el palacio.
Es como 13,000.
No, es que lo que pasa es que ya tengo como 2 meses que mi esposo no ha trabajado. Es que lo que pasa es que pues nosotros pues ya no hayamos que hacer porque él ya no tiene trabajo. Y luego aparte de eso, yo ya no hallo qué hacer. A mí me han estado ayudando en una capilla. Allá por las 5:10, allá es donde me ayudan para mi mandadito, porque ya no sé qué hacer. A veces ni para las tortillas tengo.
Bueno, te cuidan un poquito, pero eso no es, eso es como estás en emergencia.
Gracias. Gracias, cuando menos yo parar, cuando menos.
Sí, para el transporte a trabajo.
Sí, nos fuimos caminando,
cada
yo
día es
todavía
más
tengo
caro.
que sacar también.
Lupita, buena suerte.
Gracias.
Bye.
The Americas Foundation does not focus only on the children. However, Brady finds a range of ways to help the parents as well.
We try to motivate the parents personally by taking an interest, by helping them with something that gives them a little more hope because they might be in a depression, by sending them to one of the social service organizations that do exist. Principally, we start by counseling them. Periodically, we have a group of parents that would be engaged in what's known as group therapy. Al lado, And sometimes we just have to call the police. Poquito más. Poquito más. Ajá. Y este brazo poquito. Y aquí, así. Ajá, así, así. A mí me gusta más. ¿Sí? Ok. Está bien. Esto lo van a hacer cada clase cuando empiezan, ¿entienden? ¿Sí? Muy bien. I love these guys.
The schools are private, but all the students receive at least a 60% need-based scholarship from donors primarily in the United States. But in recent years, the number of U.S. volunteers has decreased, along with the funds.
Unfortunately, the news media only shows the bad things about Tijuana and Mexico. And there's so many wonderful things, so many beautiful things, and so many flavors. And the people are very enthusiastic, and they work a lot, and they work very hard for the American dream also, When you have a situation without job opportunities and where there's no social support, the person has to be extra prepared to survive and provide for their family. And this means they have to be educated. Education is the only solution that will help them prepare to be a better citizen, to provide for their needs of their children. And this is why we're dedicated to providing education to the children in this community, especially since they're so intelligent and so talented. Most people that live in the United States don't even realize that Tijuana is literally smack up against San Diego. Tijuana and San Diego are the same city, divided by the international border. We are just one region. We live close to each other, we're neighbors, and we need each other.
Tijuana and Baja is a gift to San Diego and our region. And we're really one region, not just one part. So we need Tijuana.
That's all for this edition of Impact. Be sure to check out all of our episodes at uscimpact.org. Now let's take a look at some of our upcoming stories.
From the beginning of recorded time, fermentation technology has been in place. The early wines, early beers, early breads, all types of fermentation that we've used in the food supply.
If you're growing right outside your back door or your front door, you know, you just go out and you pick your dinner.